Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Project Management and Control. This is my second video for we'll start with Primavera P6. So those who want beginners or those who want to learn Primavera from scratch, they are invited to visit my channel Project Management and Control by Asif and go for the start with Primavera P6 for beginners part 1. And it is then you can come for part 2. It will be more useful for you. So in this video we'll see different topics, for example how we can compute the activity durations, and how we define and assign calendars to activities, what are the calendars, and then based on this when we assign the relationship, Primavera calculate early and late dates. So what are these early and late dates in Primavera, and what is the float, and what are type of the float like total and free float. In addition to this, we will see how we can copy and paste. Copy and paste is very good and a tool to expedite your work when you are making big program. You just make one floor and just copy for other floors like this. So now we'll see how we compute the activity duration in Primavera. So activity duration is the time required to complete an activity. So when we are making activity and duration, we need to making a program. We need to divide the any task to further smaller activities which can be manageable and defined separately. For example, concreting work. You can define concreting work like fixing a form work, laying reinforcement and pouring. So concrete work one activity can be divided into three further activities. Similarly, if you go for block work, before block work, we have like a layout and engineer inspection. So this layout and engineer inspection will not take too much work. So we can compute this all in one activity like block work. But concreting work can be defined into three, four activities, as I said little before, like for example, fixing of form work, laying of steel reinforcement, and then pouring. So here we can understand that we can divide the activities further into further activities so that we have manageable time. For example, as I say for the block work, laying of survey and layout. Survey layout will not take will not take too much work, too much time, so we cannot define it. That's why we include survey and layout and engineering inspection in one activity like block work. So this block work includes three, four activities, which is difficult to put in the program. For example, in our program, we have the duration unit is 1 day. So this survey work will not take 1 day. So that's why we are not putting these activities as a separate. But when we are talking for concrete work have steel reinforcement and form work fixing. So these are taking some days, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, depend on the volume of the work. So in this case, if you divide the concrete activity into further activity, it can be manageable in the program. So when we are computing the activity duration, we are using the productivity norms. So what are the productivity norms? Productivity norms are the usual production capacity of our crew of our labor. So sometimes we are using our productivity norms. We establish with time what are the productivity norms, how our labors are progressing, or sometimes we are using expert judgment from the senior officials or subcontractor or suppliers. For example, if you have like installation of the lift, so installation of lift is a specialized job which is done by the specialized contractor or supplier. So in this case, we can ask them what is the duration they need, and what is the further division of their installation of lift. And based on this, we put this activities and duration in our program. And sometimes, for example, if you are making the civil engineering program, we can ask our management or our senior official to provide some feedback or expert judgment for the activity duration, because if they have done similar projects before, so they can advise of something better. So, and when we are computing the activity duration, we compute the activity duration, and for compute the activity duration, we have two constraint. Number one is that we have resource constraint. For example, we cannot bring external labors from the company. In the company, we have our own labor. So in this case, whatever work we have to do using our labor. So in this case, our time is not constrained, our labor is constrained, because to expedite the work we cannot increase the labor. On the other hand, we, for example, we have time constraint. Like for example, the client asks us to finish the slab, the structure in 1 month, and in the structure you have four slabs. So if you have to finish the structure in 1 month, then obviously you have to finish each floor in 1 week. So you have to divide your activities such a way that you can finish each floor in 1 week. So in to finish one floor in 1 week, we need more resources as per requirement. So in here you can see that we have time constraint, not the resource constraint. So the if you have time constraint, you have to increase the resources, or you have the resource constraint, then you have to increase or adjust the time. So alternative, as you say, I just say that if you have a time constraint, we can compute the activity duration easily using a time. But if we have, if we need to compute the resources, we can use the resource productivity norms to compute the activity durations. So activation are computed. For example, if you are using the block work, I'm taking the block work as an example because it's a simple activity. If you are going for concreting, you need to have either production cubic meter, including reinforcement and steel. Sometimes it depends on our BOQ. If the BOQ having the concrete quantity, then you have to compute the duration based on this. Quantity in the BOQ, or sometimes the BOQ is further divided into form work and steel reinforcement and the concrete quantity. So in this case, we have to compute the time required for steel, for form work, and the pouring concrete separately. To make it short, I just assume block work. So how we are computing the quantity for duration for the quantity based on the BOQ. So here you can see I have make one Excel sheet to compute the activity durations here, or compute the resources based on the activity duration. For example, based on our program, we have assumed that block work for 13 floor is needs 10 days. Okay, block work for 13 floor is 10 days, and then we computed the quantity of the block. For example, we have this division number. This division number three. You can see this division number three is here, and this division number three is, you can see that concrete work. Then division number four. Division number four is the block masonry. You can see here that we have block masonry work. So I computed the based on this block number division number four, and there's different pages and then different item number. Each page we have different item number, and based on this we compute the activity. We compute the budgeted quantity. On this budgeted quantity, we compute the total quantity of this block masonry. Okay, and then from here we have production productivity. We have 15. We assume that block work have 15 cubic square meter per day, and our crew is one finishing mason and one helper. So if you see here, productivity manpower is one mason and two helper is three, and then based on this, we have productivity duration is equals to is the quantity divided by the quantity divided by the productivity. So here this is our you can see on the screen that this I compute this all the quantities and divided by 15, we get 16.3.02 is the productive duration. For this duration we need 189.2. This duration multiplied by the productive manpower, we get 18199.02 labor. So in this, then we divide this 189.2 into finishing mason and labor. Okay, if you see here, you go here. Just this is divided. This is one is a mason divided by our uh, productive manpower, productivity crew multiplied by the manpower. So it gives us then we need the finishing mason is 6.3, and we need 12.61, double the labor. So in this case, we can compute the required manpower for each item in the program. Here just I take example. So because our program is time constrained, we the client give us the time. Based on this, we distribute our activities, and based on this activity duration, we compute the required resources. Right, so we see that we activity duration can be computed based on the time constraint, and then based on this time constraint, if our program is time constraint means we have to finish project in particular specified time, then we have to increase the resources to meet this time deadline. The alternatively, we have uh, we can compute it based on the based on our company resources, and then in this case, if we are if we make the resource as constant, then we have to adjust the time. Now the next item is calendar. Calendars are in the Primavera are created to define working and non-working days, and that is, for example, holidays, etc., and working hours which defines when the work will be start, when the work will be finished, and what will be the break time in the program in the during the working days. This is very important in the Gulf countries, because in the Gulf countries there's a Ramzan short working hours in the during the month of Ramzan, and there is summer break or 3 or 4 hours during this hot weather. So in this case, it is always recommended by the client and consultant to define the calendars which define the holidays and the working hours in the country. Okay, so once we have done this one, we have to do how we can compute the early and late dates. So once we are defining the activities and we make the activity relationships, it's a relationship. The next step we did the network calculation. Network calculation is like pressing F9 in the program. When we press F9, it performs the network calculation, and the network calculation is done based on the critical path method. And based on this, we have two type of calculation. Number one is the forward part, and the other is the backward part. So this forward part and backward part is the basic calculation for network calculation, or for the critical path method. And this is not the scope of this video, because it is if you interested, please comment to me. I will try to make a separate video for this one, how to compute forward part and backward part. And in fact, this is only for your understanding, or to get ideas. In actual life, it is not required, because this calculation is very huge, and this is done by Primavera itself. So, if you are doing this network calculation or critical path method, the program compute the early and late dates. So, once you compute the for when we compute the forward part, Primavera can calculate the early dates, and once we do the backward part, Primavera compute the late dates. So what are the early dates? Early dates are the earliest an activity can be started before for example, you cannot start before this. For example, any activity to be start on 5th January. If the early start of that activity is 5th January, you cannot start it on 4th January, because it early start is 5th. So earliest an activity can start is called the earliest start, and similarly the earliest finish an activity can be completed is called earliest finish. Similarly, late start and late finish is the late and latest an activity can be started or finished. For example, if an activity have late finish date of 10 January, and then if you start this activity on 11 January, the project or success activity may delay. So, but before that, and if, for example, instead of 10, you can start in 9 January, 8 January, before the early dates, you can start it. So late start is an activity can be started before delaying the project or subsequent activity. Similarly, the late finish and the late an activity can be finished without delaying the project or success activity. So early or late dates are very important for the planners and the site execution team to know when an activity should be started, and when and maximum and late can be done an activity to without delaying the project. So we'll do this in the P6. You can see here that if you go into column in the column option in the Primavera, you can see, go in the dates. In the dates, you can see that we have shown here early start, late finish, and late start and late finish date, and free float and total float. So this activity can be shown in the project layout also in the program. So this we'll see in detail in a little while. Now, then once we have the forward and backward part to compute the early and late dates, and from this early and late dates, we are computing the float. So what are the float? The float is a float is a time an activity can be delayed without delaying either the project or the success activity. So if the activity can be delayed without delaying the project is called total float, and the activity can be delayed without delaying the successor or subsequent activity is called uh, free float. You can see screen. I give the definition of the float. So as I told you that we have two types of float, total float and free float. Total float is a float, a time can be delayed without delaying the project, and free float is a float, an activity can be delayed without delaying the subsequent or successor activity. So now we'll do all this in Primavera itself. So let's start in Primavera. So if we just open the Primavera here, just write your admin password. I will highly recommend you to visit our channel, Project Management and Control by Asif. You'll find very good and helpful videos for you, which will, of course, enhance your ability and your work and helpful for your work. So we are just open one program, which is construction of small villa. We just make this villa in our previous exercise, which is beginners part one. Here we have defined this one. So now the first thing is the activity duration. So activity duration, as I told you here, before that activity duration are computed based on the time constraint. For example, if you have a time constraint, you have to finish four slabs in 1 month, and then your duration is 1 week for each floor, and then accordingly we need to assign the resources and time. Similarly, if our resources is constrained, then time to be adjusted. So this is activity to be defined, and accordingly you will put this duration here. So once you define this activities relationship, just go into enterprise, and enterprise we have calendars. So just go enterprise into calendar before calendar, and then you can define here project calendar or global calendar. I already make one video for defining what is the difference between the global resource and project calendar. Kindly visit the channel and you will find this video, and you have a look for this one. It will give you some insight depth, more information and advanced information regarding the project calendars. So before going to this activity, we just go into project button and project window. In the project window, if you go in the default tab, you can see here, my just follow my mouse cursor. Then we have journal tab. If you go into default, in the default, you can see here that we already defined this at auto numbering detail default. Here you can define what activity names and preface you want it for your activities. And here is the default calendar, is a corporate standard full time. Okay, so this you have here, for example, if you select here, we have select this OBZ working hours. So this our default calendar for this project. So you can define here this here also. So any project you want to make it default, put in the default calendar here. So whenever you make new project, this project will be assigned automatically to your new project. When you are making a new project from scratch, and you just go in the project option and just click this plus button, or just go file uh, new for a new project from here. So the default calendar will be OBZ. So this default calendar means that you already have defined a calendar with the duration, with the working hours, holidays, and so whenever we need the new project, automatically it will be assigned to this project. So we just open this project here, and we can see here we want to show the calendar here. So just to show the calendar here, I just go in the column button. You can see this column, or you can go show tools, sorry, edit, and go to edit, and then in the edit you will find view and calendar, sorry, view and columns. So if you go for view column, you can see we have early and late dates. So I just remove this dates, and then we have calendar here, already have defined here. If you don't have calendar, you can do one thing, just go into columns. From here column, you can go from here also, or from view also. Okay, so from view, if you want to put the calendar here and you are new to Primavera, you don't know where to calendar, because you see here a lot of option are here, and you need to search. It will waste a lot of your time. So to find where the calendar, just go this down arrow button, and then will find here find button. So just write a calendar here and press find. So it will take you directly, and you can see that the calendar is in the journal tab. So for example, if I go again into columns and I want to put the calendar here, I just go in journal. In general, you can find calendar here. So just put calendar here. So if you are new to Primavera and you don't know where this some item you're looking for, so just go this down arrow and just put find button here. So just we apply here, and you can see that we have defined a calendar here, same calendar, 6 working days. So to define your calendar, just go into enterprise calendar, and the calendar, you want to add new calendar, for example, here. So just make add new button here. From add new button, so already you have some calendar. So for example, if you add a new button here, and then you want to take from some already have defined calendar, just take any calendar. For example, I take this OMA, 7 days work. Okay, I just take this one, this 7 days work. Okay, and then I put this name here, training 1 2 3. Okay, and then modify, and then modify. You want to make 1st January as a holiday. So just click one, and then make it non-work day is holiday. Okay, similarly, you have from 1st March to 30 March is the Ramzan time in Gulf countries. So just make it in Ramzan. In Ramzan they have 6 hour working. So just reduce this time. So you can see that it will come exception. Okay, then you have this 30. Sorry, you have to select from here. This also you have to select and make it press shift, and then reduce 6 hours. Okay, and 31st is the holiday in this country, in the Gulf countries, so make it non-working days. So in this way you can put any days you have want. For example, you have 1st May is a holiday, so just make non-working days. And then for example, consider 18 to 21 is the holidays in Gulf countries, so non-work days. So similarly, you can assign as many duration holidays you want. 1st and 2nd December is holidays. Okay, so in this case you can define the calendar here, and you have to define for example 226 again. So just make it non-working days here again, and then you can put this from 23rd Jan to Ramzan there again next year. So just make it 6 days. Then from 1st March to 20 March is again Ramzan, make 6 hours, and then we have break down to non-work days. Okay, so once you define this one, you have to go in detail working hour here, and detail working hour you can see here that we have this is for example a work started from 8 o'clock, and then 9 10. From here you can define the timing also. For example, our work start 8:30, so just make this and make non-work, and then make this one to 6:30, so just make it work. So in this case you can make it adjust your time. For example, in Ramadan there's no break, so just make this one and make this as a non-work, and then reduce this as non-work. So in this case, you can make your you can adjust your working hours timing. So what time you want to start your work. So for example, here select for all of this from here to here, and then make this one as work, and then make this one as non-work. So you can see here the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you go to in 28 January, you can see that we have started from 8 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1 hour break. So 8 hour working holidays here. So if you want to go to work week, for example, you have if you have to define what is a weekly holiday. So just go in the work week. So in the work week, so time period. Work week. Okay, so we have to go in the total hours, total work hours per day, and then go work week. And the work week, you will see that we have 7 days work. So one day 8 hours, all 7 days we have 7 hours work. So in for example, if you have Sunday off, so just go in the Sunday and make Sunday as 0. Okay, and then make it okay. Now all your Sunday will be holidays. Similarly, if you have some other days, so do work week again. For example, in some countries, Saturday is off and Sunday is on. So just put 8 hours from here, and then your work hour will be weekly holiday will be changed to Saturday. In this way, you can define the working hours and working days, and the days in and the annual holidays in the annual holidays in the country. So once you define your calendar, just add the calendar column in in the project layout, and then just click this one. You can see now your calendar is open now. If you see, for example, you just go any activity and click this calendar, and then you have to search for the calendar you're looking for. So just make it training. So just make it training 1, 2, 3, and then assign. Once you assign this one, select the first activity, okay, and then select the press shift button and last activity and press fill down. So you can see that now all your calendar is training one day. So in this case, in this way, you can define and assign the calendar to activities. Defining of the calendar is very important in Primavera P6. So because it will give you the holidays and working hours. Based on this, you can define, design or plan your project. Otherwise, if you does not consider these holidays and reduce working hours, it will unnecessary shows delays to your project, and the client consultant will make objection or comments that why there is delay. So define to avoid such situation, make it agree with the engineer and define the calendar first and assign this calendar to activities. So now our activities already have defined, and we assign the calendars also to our activities. And then, for example, now you want to now you want to show you want to calculate the network calculation. So network calculation is very simple. Just go in this clock symbol on your main menu, or you can go into tool. In the tool, you can see schedule button of here also. It is called tool, and you can press F9 alternately. So either we can go to tool and schedule, or just press this clock button or press F9. So anything is easy for you, just press it. Press F9. So it will give you the start. Is a schedule option button. From here, you can select the what is the schedule start date. Our schedule start date is 1st January. When you schedule it, you can see that our project start on 2nd January. So question started when our schedule, we schedule on 1st January. Why it start on 2nd January? The answer is that because in our calendar, 1st January is holiday. So that's why the work will be start on the 2nd January. So now you can understand, or you can see that what are the importance of calendar. If you don't have defined 1st January as a holiday, your work will be started from 1st January, but actually 1st January is holiday. So in this case, your project will shows 1 day delay without any reason, and you do need to define this. You have to give justification why there is 1 day. To avoid this such thing, better to put assign the calendar with the realistic holidays and working hours, and assign the activity calendar to activities. So once you have do this one and you schedule the activities, then you have to put this so that we don't have. So now we have done this one. We did the network calculation by pressing F9. So once we have done network calculation, program pieces automatically compute forward and backward path. Based on this calculation for forward and backward path, Primavera compute early and late dates. So early, as I say, as we see a little before, the early the dates an activity can be started earliest. Before that, the activity cannot be started. For example, this site survey and layout. Site survey and layout is started on 15 January. We can start on 15 January, but we cannot start it on the 14 January because these dates are computed by the Primavera. So here we can see here that early dates here. So if you want to see the late dates are the dates which activity can be started without delaying the project. So for example, just go to into column bar, and the column you want to see the dates. So the dates will be shown here in the dates button. Just press plus button here. It will open the dates option here. So from here you can see the late start. So where you want to put it, you put after late finish. So just click late finish here, and then just add late start and then late finish and show it. Okay, so here you can see that in our project, our work starts 2nd January, 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to see the time, you have to show the time here. If you don't want to show the time, just go into user preferences, And in the user preferences, go to date, and the date you have time option. So do not in if you go user preferences here again, edit and user preferences. In the user preferences in the date format, you find here that do not show time. Here I select 12 hour, so it will show PM and AM. So you can see here that it will show, our time shows PM and PM, and there's no there's AM also. So if you don't to if you want, though if you don't want to show the time, just select do not show time. If you want to show 24-hour clock, just press this 20-hour radio button. And here already we show time, so we don't want to show time because it takes too much space and it make congestion. So to avoid unnecessary congestion, and when it is not required, just click don't show the time and press close. So now you see the time is not that much horrible as before. It was looking so scary because it shows the time also. So if you are not worried too much about the time, just do not need to show the time, and just press here. And now you can see here that, for example, we have early start and early start and the latest update dates also. So, for example, site survey and layout earliest can be started 15 January and latest can be started 15 January. So, means that both early and late dates are same. So if the both early and late dates are same, it means the activity is critical and it don't does not have total float. So you can see here in my in this project here project you can see here. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, so this got something here happened by chance. So I'll show you why. So this total float. So total float here as for the project shows -4 days. So this -4 days shows that the project has delays. Or how many days delay is 4 days. So minus float is showing you the delay in the project is a 4 days delay. And this is because if you see here, preliminaries or running cost is going up to 4 April. In fact, our project finish on 30 March. So late finishes 30 March is a constraint. And we cannot finish the project more than 30 April. So if finish after 30 April, it will count as a delay. So we just reduce this as a, for example, 61 days. And then the this coming duration, Zan, reduce working hours. So this is okay. So now we have completed. See, now our this all activity we have few activities, and these activities are both all are critical. You can see here, and for example, this erection of a tower crane. Erection of a tower crane has earliest start of 15 January and latest start of 21st March. Means we can start this activity as on 15 January, but not before 15 January. After, and it means we cannot start on 13 January, 14 January, but we can start 15 January, 16 January onwards any date till 21st March. After 21st March, it start delaying the project. So this is because this activity is not linked with any other activity. If you go into view and show in bottom details, it will show you the details, and then the relationship, you can see that this erection of tower crane does not have any successor activity here. So for example, if we say that this after erection of tower crane, we will go for the PCC. So we just go select this activity, okay, and again go erection tower crane and assign this to secretary, and then okay, now you can see this float is 55 days. If you run the program again, now it is reduced to 38 days. Means that now we can start this activity either 15 January or 28 February. It does not have any impact on the project. But if it start on 1st March, 2nd March, any day, accordingly, there will be delay in the project. So this is the early and late dates are very important for our site executives because they want to know when the activity can be can when a maximum activity can be started so that they can plan the resources. We have to not our plan our resources in randomly. We have to plan our resources very wisely so that we can save some time and we can have maximum efficient use of our resources. Here again, I recommend you kindly visit our channel Project Management and Control by Asif, and you can find a video which is regarding the resource labeling. So in the resource labeling, you will see what is the importance of resource and what is the effect of resource availability on the project duration. So kindly visit now the channel and watch this video, resource labeling. It will give you some more insight information about the resource labeling and effect of resource on the project duration and project completion. So once we have defined, now again we start. Once we have defined our early start, early finish date, here if you see uh, very carefully here, you can find here drop down arrow here. This drop down arrow here is shown because it is organized based on the duration, based on the early start. If you see here, this is based on the early start. So if you go in the organized group and sort button, in the group or sort button, you will find a button sort. In the sort, you can see that we are sorting based on the early start. So if you don't want to sort on the early start, just delete it and press OK, apply. It will not affect. So again, go sorting and sort based on the early finish. For example, add button here and press early finish. Okay, then apply. See it will impact. And this arrow now came on the early finish. So if you want to assign the activity for some particular reason to show in some particular series, you can define the activity or organize the or sorting the activity based on activity IDs, based on activity name. Or for example, if you go on group and sort again and go sort button and just make this activity name. See, now our activity are randomly assigned, means there's no it's very difficult to which activity is should come is up and down. So but if you want to put in the timely manner, so you want to know which activity come first, is come shown first on the Gantt chart also. This chart is called Gantt chart. So you have to show which activity is start first, should be shown first, and thus and subsequently all activity will be come in the same cycle. Means in the for activities which are happening should be happen first. It come first, then second, then third, fourth, like this. So if you go in the group and sort button and go into sorting, and then here is put it just early start. Okay, and then just notice the changes here. Now you can see project commencement, then establishment of site office, and then preliminary. After establishment of site office, we have site survey and erection of tower crane. Then after site survey, we have site layout, we have excavation and PCC work. Similarly, you can add more activities here. So now you can see that how we can group and how can we define activity relationship, how can we define and calculate the activity duration and define assign these activities, and how can we create the activity calendars and then make this calendar and then assign the calendars to the activities. For example, here one thing more I have to show here, that for the running or primary course is going on all over the project for project duration. It does not consider that there is any holidays or work reduced day. So running preliminaries are based on the overall project duration. So for this, we need to define another calendar. So we just go enterprise calendar and then one add one more calendar. Here already have one calendar. I show you. I make same calendar days and just you just modify here. You can find here that uh, no the one. Okay, for example, this RR3 C10. If you go collect this one, click this one and go modify, you can this calendar. So RR4 C RR43 C10 calendar. So here we have same calendar days. Okay. If you go RR3 C10 calendar and just go to modify, you can find here that we don't have any holidays here. So for the running preliminaries, we need to assign a calendar which have don't have any holidays, because for running preliminaries, site office maintenance, the site office maintenance personals, for example, office boy and electricity and telephone and other bills don't need anything to be holidays. So for this running preliminaries, we have to assign the calendar which is 6 days. So we have assigned here RR3 C10 calendar days. So once you assign here, you can see that, and this will, if you run here F9, it's 17 March, because now we reduce the holidays from here. So we have to increase the duration here. For example, we make 7 March, 25 days. Okay, if you put 26 days, okay, so we have running preliminaries for 75 days from 2nd January to 30 March is 75 days. So you have to be careful. Now you can see that we have from, because this 15 January to 30 March. This is 75 days. You can see, understand that 15 days from January, and then full month for February and March. So it is overall is 35 days. So we have to normally, when define the calendar in our projects, we have to define two or three calendar. The same way we define here. One calendar is for the preliminaries, which does not include any holidays or anything. It is going overall the project duration. Other is for the working calendar, which is for the site execution, and which is for the contractor. Contractor normally have 1 day holidays, or sometimes they don't have any holiday, and they have 10 hours working days. But you have to assign there the holidays, the gazetted national holidays, and the reduce working hour if there any in the country. And the one more calendar we have to assign for authorities. Normally, the authorities which are controlling the construction, they have 5 working days, so they are not coming for any inspection or any check in the holidays. So you have, and similarly, engineers normally, the consultant engineer or supervision consultant, they have 5 working days. So if you have submit any inspection or any submittal for approval, you have to consider that it will be go for 5 days. So this, we have to assign three calendars when we are making the program. Just make three calendars: one for the preliminaries, one for the contractor, which is 6 working days, and one for the government authorities and consultant, which is 5 working days. So here, for example, once you define this one, we have to assign here. We don't have any consultant activities, so we just ignore it. We have here training calendar defined here. So now we see that we have defined the calendars. If you go our presentation, and we see that we have to define activity duration. We see how to compute the activity duration. We see that what how to define the calendar and working hours in Primavera pieces. You already see this one. What are early and late dates, and what are the total and free float. And now the last topic you have to cover is the copy and paste command in Primavera. So if you go in Primavera again, and for example, you have to make this substructure work. So you just go in WBS. Okay, open this WBS, and you can see that here we have substructure work. So just select this substructure work, copy and make paste. It will ask you this option, optionally include notebook, WBS milestone, this all to be included activities. If you don't want to copy the activities also, just click activities. If you don't want, or if you want to copy only the WBS, then uncheck this one. But if you want the activities also, just make it activity also. Click OK. And then here, this is a very important option here. I, for my personal experience, I, even the very experienced plan engineer, when they are copying the WBS, they miss this option. Here, if you see very carefully, we have resource, role, and assignment. So this in our project is until now no resource assignment. Already I have activities. So how to define and assign resources? Kindly, I'm again recommending you, kindly visit my channel and find the activity which is suits for you. Just give some time and find the activity video and watch it carefully. It will be very helpful for you. So resource and resource assignment you can see in other video. I will try to make another video if you have requested. And then we have relationship. This is very important relationship here. If you see in the relationship, under relationship, this line here, only between copied activities. If you click this one, so for example, if you're selecting the 10 activities to be copied. So once you copy these activities, only the activity relationship between the selected activity will be copied. The activities outside this selection will not be copied. I will show you in little while. Expenses, our we did not define an expenses. Kindly visit the channel for expenses, activity code. I have already separated video for this one. It will be, I hope it will be helpful for you. Notebook, staff, financial period, work package, the documents and risk are not assigned. So it's not important. Just you can check it, uncheck it. It does not make any sense for us. This for us, these four items are very important. So in the most is our relationship. So if I cancel here and I go to activity here in the activities, you see I select this WBS substructure to copy. In the substructure, we have three activities. This one. So when you copy these activities and make the relationship between the activities. So if you see the site layout is linked with the establishment of the offices. So if you click that only the between the copied activities, then this link of the establishment site offices will not be copied. So you have, if you want to copy this link also, sometimes we need to copy the external link also. External from here, the from external means is that not from the external other program. The same program here, but same program here, but it is outside the selection. So if you have this much selection and the activities between this selected activities will copy with the relationship in between, but any relationship coming outside of this selection will not be copy. So most of the time it is required to copy. So if you go WBS and just select this one, the session copy, and here put the paste option is this we already selected. We need to copy the activities. Okay, and here you see relationship only between copied activities. No, we want to not only between the copy, we want to copy the others also. So just uncheck this one and press OK. Now increment. So for example, you say auto increment, you say that project P1, you guess project P1 super, and then here you can make 010. Okay, it's copied here. Now it is not shown here. Now if you open this one, you will see this substructure here already here. This is a copied one. So we want to take it out. Just go here and make it outdent. Move left and just make it superstructure. Take this, and go in the entity. Superstructure came here and you see the P1 SUP 010. We make it 0. It's not 0. Add 0 here. In this case, we assign the activities, but it also make the activity IDs also. Check here superstructure. You can just check here ground floor column. Okay, slab, and shape, removal, change the activity description. Here the ground floor, see that it is linked with the establishment of the site office, the same as site layout. Just notice this one, the both activities because they copied, so it is here. So we don't need this one. We just remove this one here, and just if you go here, okay, you just go here and you see that our ground floor column will be after PCC foundation. So just come here when you come bring your just notice my mouse here, and when you're coming on the Gantt chart, you see that it will change to relationship symbol. Okay, so just select this one and bring it to ground floor column. So in this case now you see the ground floor column is linked with the PCC foundation. I remove it again and put it again. See, we don't have any relationship for the ground floor column. So we just come in PCC foundation, just drag and drag here. Okay, we say PCC and RCC. We just instead of PCC, we can make RCC. After foundation, we go for ground floor column. So now, if you run the program again, press F9. See, it is going to. Yeah, so now it's linked with the RCC foundation, with ground floor column, etc. So in this case, you can see here, if you're on the Gantt chart and you come on the calendar, you see that our activities calendar is, you can make it enlarge or enlarge it using the, when you see that when our cursor change to a magnifying glass, just drag it left or right, it will make enlarge or reduce. Similarly, when you make it more up, it become a finger. So you can finger from the with the help of finger, you can move it. Okay, so in this case, you can see here we can reduce a little bit here, and then total float. And so in this way, the same way you can make enlarge or reduce your time scale. And from here you can select, for example, right select time scale. The time scale you can go. We have month week. So if you go in month and week, you can go year month. Okay, so you have see we have more space here. So it will depends on you. For example, you go again time scale, and instead of month work, you can see week day one. It will more detailed, and you can see here that we have Sunday holidays. It shows you the holidays also. I will recommend again kindly visit the channel and watch some video for the calendar resource assignment. It will give you more good and in-depth and understanding for the project calendar, assigning resources, and a lot more. I hope it will be helpful for you. So if you like it, please like, share, and subscribe some channel. If you find something new or useful, kindly comment it. And I appreciate your subscription, and you kindly share with your fellow engineers, your fellow friends to learn more, and write to me if you have any confusion or you want me to more videos. I'm planning to make some more videos to define more items because it's a very big software. It needs a lot of time, resources, and a lot of things to be learned about. So till next time, thank you very much for your time. I hope, I pray that it is helpful for you. See you next time in another video, maybe video 3. I'm planning to make some more video for the Power BI also. In fact, busy schedule nowadays for the work, so I'm not getting fine time. But I'm trying to spare some time to make videos for our fellow friend, fellow planning and our coming engineers. Thank you for your time again. See you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.